Hi, my name is Mike, and I am one of the education consultants here at the Profs. Now, in case you haven't watched any of my other videos, and you definitely should if you haven't already, my specialty is mainly around mathematics and the sciences. And the course that I'm going to be talking about today is a relatively new one. It is Imperial's MSc in Applied Biosciences and Biotechnology. Now, it may be a new course, but it doesn't mean that it's any less competitive than any other Imperial degree out there. In fact, if we're looking at the latest statistics, in the 2023 to 2024 cycle, only 24% of applicants ended up receiving an offer. If we compare that to our success rates at the Profs, we are definitely at least double that when it comes to the success of our master's applicants. So if you are interested in hearing a little bit more from us in terms of how to get into a university like this, then feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment, or maybe even just follow one of our contact details below. But the first things first, we have to understand the course and its structure, as well as what it's asking for. It's asking for students that have at least a minimum of a 2-1 in biochemistry, biology, or an appropriate subject. What does that mean? Well, that's probably going to be a mathematics or chemistry, or maybe a combination of or practical application of biology in something else. I think you could also get away with statistics or maybe something like psychology if there was a lot of experimental aspects of it. If we're looking at the course itself, there isn't actually too much to go off at the moment, really, on their sort of main course page. So they have 2 core modules. One in applied biosciences, which mainly gets into like the bioinformatics of everything, as well as the necessary program and the mathematics to understand sort of like systems biology and biological systems. And then we've got the more practical aspect in their compulsory biotechnology module. And then the only other things that they allow you to do in this particular module is a mini conference that is based in spring. So you have to write a dissertation for that and then present it. Maybe to like a small group of academics. And then you have a longer 16-week project, which is actually very, very significantly long, where you are working maybe with a team of other biotech sort of enthusiasts, supervised by academic staff even, with the Department of Life Science there. So it's very, very niche as a course. It's very, very unique. If you want to make sure that you definitely want to go for a course like this, you have to understand specifically what makes it unique for what it is, and not just be saying to yourself, I want to be able to go to Imperial because it is a great university. Saying that, it's good to note that Imperial is very, very competitive, so we want our grades to be very, very high. Now, I mentioned earlier that we are looking for a minimum of a 2-1, but given the amount of competition and the fact that as it is a new course, this offer rate is probably going to go down quite significantly, particularly over the next few years. I would be expecting a first to be really what you should be aiming for a course like this if you want to stand any chance of getting onto this particular degree. But that's not everything that you need in order to get onto a course like this. Moving into tip number 3, we also want a little bit of a description of your lab experience as well as your industry experience. Have you been on any particular internships where you've worked with maybe like a biotechnology company within or in between sort of your years at university? Because it is a really practical course. So if as an admissions tutor, I know that you've been very, very hands-on with biotechnology already, or you understand like the industry incredibly well and you understand the process of how new discoveries and new technologies are made, then you're going to look like a really, really good fit for a course like this. But getting a little bit more generally into this, and this is a bit of an extra thing here. I want to know about your quantitative experience as well. I think it's really important with a university like Imperial also being very, very high for mathematics. And if you do want to double check that, have a look at my other video where I'd ranked lots of other different universities in terms of their mathematics degrees. Imperial are very high on that list. So they are going to be looking at people with very, very strong quantitative analytical skills as well as a confidence to work practically in the laboratory. How do we demonstrate that? You might want to be leaning on the fact that you've done a lot of undergraduate modules in mathematics alongside your studies in biology or biological sciences or something similar. Or maybe you've taken an online sort of course affiliated with an Ivy League or a Russell Group university in maybe some aspect of applied mathematics that is really, really going to suit the like biotechnology sort of work that you will be engrossed in, hopefully, if everything works out exactly the way you want it to. But moving on to, more importantly, to tip number 4, you need to work out why you're going to Imperial. Now, reasons that you can't apply for Imperial, or reasons that you can't state on a personal statement that you're applying for Imperial, is that you want to go somewhere prestigious, or you like sort of working in London, which actually they don't really care much about in reality, or you are a little bit boastful and say that you believe that you would be like one of the best candidates there. That's not quite the direction we want to take, even though we do want to show off academic achievements in places. Better reasons to go for Imperial. Again, we talked about sort of the interest in the course. Maybe research out a little bit more. If you are fortunate enough to know a friend that's already on the course, definitely reach out to them and ask them what do they like about the course that they're on. Or you can try to reach out perhaps to the university itself. And I would generally recommend this with any course that you're interested in at any university, attending their open days, seeing, actually from the people who are organizing the courses themselves, what they are about. And then they will give you a lot of things to be excited by that you can write down. So for instance, you could be looking at like the strength of the academic staff, maybe sort of like getting excited by like the research groups that are based there if you want to go into a PhD, or perhaps if you didn't want to go down that route, you could be talking about the facilities that they have there in terms of the practical relevance for more of a professional or industry-based job that you are hoping to do immediately after university. It could even be that at Imperial, given that it's also very well business-oriented as an institution, or it certainly has a good reputation for business, and you want to start your own startup, then maybe they have some societies there that are really, really good for like biology-based entrepreneurship that you want to get yourself involved in. And then you can talk about the companies that you want to sort of connect with, which is a really good reason to actually go for a university like Imperial. And they do like it when you talk about it. So think very, very deeply. Try to get your thoughts organized before you put pen to paper. And finally, obviously, there is a lot of tips that I've introduced in this video, not necessarily all of the tips that I feel like I can give within 10 to 15 minutes. Work with an admissions tutor. Why not? It certainly is going to improve your chances at sort of getting into a university like this for a variety of different courses, not even just this one. But within this company alone, we have lots of people that have studied master's degrees as a compulsory sort of thing that we need from tutors in this company. We also have a few people as well that are doctors, some people here that are lecturers, some of which have actually taught at Imperial in the past as well. So we have a massive wealth of application experience here combined here. If you were to reach out to us, we'd be more than happy to help you to succeed in your application. So if you are in that position where you feel like you need a little bit of extra guidance, don't delay and make sure you get in contact with us. So I'm sad to say we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe in order to hear the latest information about university applications as well as tutoring services. If you have any questions yourself or any opinions about how some of these things are working, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section or even share it with a friend or family member if you think they might be interested. But if you want to hear directly from us, have a look at the contact information on screen right now. And as always, best of luck with your application.